Hello, everyone. I'm Jeff Holtz, and welcome to another edition of Inside Milford Jai Alai, the show that each week brings you an up-close look at the world's fastest ball game. It was Fast Money Friday night for Jai Alai fan Lenny Campanera, who won the $5,000 grand prize giveaway. 5 other patrons won $1,000 each. 2 fan favorites recently returned to action after recovering from minor injuries. Inclan injured his leg, while Badiola was bothered by a sore wrist. Bob Hustler and I will talk about the injuries later in the program. Both players are glad to be back.
It was a bad injury. It takes like 15 days to get back, and still I gotta get my confidence back. I twist one of my ligaments, and that makes you weak. So I gotta, start playing slow. So I got a little fear, It's always there.
I started playing last Saturday, and I feel great. I feel completely good with my wrist, and I feel great.
In the first games or the first day that I'm playing, I'm not going to risk myself too much to see how I'm doing. And if I feel great, if I feel the way I'm feeling now, then I'm going to, go 100%.
It was like a little loose bodies I have in my wrist, but I stay away 2 weeks. I started practicing before I started playing, and I feel wonderful, great.
Hey, were you ever worried that it might not be the same?
No, I feel the same. I feel the same like last year or 2 years ago. I feel great.
Hi, we're back with another edition of Talkin' Jai Alai, and I'm here with Bob Hustler of Milford Jai Alai. Bob, we had a couple of top players return from injury this week. First of all, let's start off with Inclan.
Inclan comes back tonight, as a matter of fact, Jeff. Inclan went down on August 8th. At the time, he was leading everybody here at the Fronton in wins. In fact, Inclan at that point was threatening to turn the wins race into a runaway. Maybe he was feeling a little cocky at the time because he did something that maybe he wouldn't do all the time. He went high up on the screen that day to retrieve a shot, came down the wrong way, twisted his knee. No serious damage, but it swelled up to the point where he had to miss 15 days. He's back now. But of course, when he left, he was on top of the win standings. Now he finds himself, I believe, in 3rd place at this moment, has a little bit of ground to make up.
How have some of the other top front court players on the roster played when Inclan was down for that over 2-week period?
Well, of course, you would look at 2 front courtmen in particular. One would be Sorozabal. Sorozabal has been right among the top 5 players all season long. When Inclan went down, Sorozabal had a chance to move into the lead, and in fact, he did. Sorozabal has been playing some real good Jai Alai in August, and right now he's the leading winner at the Fronton. He has 75 wins, I believe, or 76. He has a 6-game lead as we talk over Inclan. Bolivar, who had been slumping badly throughout late July and into most of August, has picked up his game recently when Inclan has not been around. Coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. The Bolivar has been playing better. Things just start to get real interesting now that Inclan is back in the mix.
Backcourt superstar Badiola was suffering and is still suffering from a wrist injury. And as we've discussed on previous shows, that can be deadly for a Jai Alai player. He's back. What's his status?
Badiola, 10 years ago, while playing in Daytona Beach, suffered a fracture of the right wrist. And as you said, that's a critical injury because the basket is tied to the right hand. He told me he has no idea how it happened. Well, one day he felt some pain. He had it diagnosed. They took an x-ray. He had a fracture of the wrist. Set him back for quite some time. Now he is told there will always be some pain. Sometimes it'll be severe, sometimes not so severe. When it is bad, he has to take time off and just let it rest. And so that's what he has done in August. He took off 2 weeks because the pain had grown to the point he had to rest it. He says he feels fine now, and he says it could be another year, 2, 3 years before it starts acting up again.
A player who has moved into the top 5 in wins, a bit of a surprise, David. What can you tell us about him?
David, an early game player who really out of nowhere, Jeff, has just started piling up the wins. In August in particular, he's coming up with 10 to 12 wins a week, it seems. David's main attribute is catching. He's a real good catcher, and he wins consistently at the early game level. Now he's being moved up into the middle games, different level of competition, and it's going to be a challenge for him to see if he can sustain the same success in the middle games.
We thought we'd see Bolivar in the game of the week every week. It hasn't happened. He's back tonight. How did that come about?
He's back. He has not been playing well lately, really slumped badly in late July, early August. Has played well lately. I would say Bolivar and Augie are the favorites in tonight's game of the week.
We'll be back next week with another edition of Talkin' Highline. This week's Fronton figures. Sortizabal has a 3-game lead over early game player David and Bolivar. Inclan, who recently returned to action after being sidelined 16 days with a leg injury, has 73 victories. In team play, Sortizabal and Alfonso have 12 wins. Alfonso is also third in the standings with Zubikarai, and Sortizabal is third with Roland. Both teams have 10 wins. The top Quinella combination for the week was the 2-3. The top exacta combination was the 6-2. It was hit 8 times. The 6-1 was second with 5. The top trifectas for the season are the 5-1-4 and the 5-2-4. Here are this week's top prices. The team of David and Jay in Post 7 paid $91.80 to win. And surprisingly, that price was more than $20 higher than the Quinella payoff. The overall top price of the week was the trifecta of 6-7-1. It paid $3,551.70. The superfecta of 3, 2, 5, and 4 paid $3,326.10. The role of the ball boy at the Fronton is often filled by a young person with aspirations of someday playing professional highline. Milford's ball boy is Rob Sanger. He grew up in Milford, where he became fascinated with the sport, and he has been trying to earn a spot on a Fronton's roster.
I was trying to go pro up at Newport. I was practicing up there a lot and trying to get in. It didn't work out. And right now I'm practicing up at Hartford under a teacher named Alberti, who recently retired last year. He's a really good teacher, so I'm training up there too. So I'll be going up there 2 times a week, and now that I'm back here, I can use the Milford court too. You really got to be like at the right place at the right time. I've been to a lot of tryouts. You know, especially at Newport, I spent a lot of time going up there, and unfortunately it didn't work out. You know, a lot of times they don't need players, but you try to keep on them. You try to, you know, let them know you're around. Just let them know you're there, that you want to play, and you really got to keep in contact, because they're not going to call you, and you just really got to keep on their back, you know.
The ball boy plays a vital role at the Fronton.
Your main job mostly is when you're up in the cage. You keep track of the balls. Different players like to use different balls. Ball that's been in play longer is faster, and a lot of players prefer to use a faster ball. They'll change the ball if they, you know, play an opponent that they think throws hard. They might go to a slower ball. So basically, I just keep track of the balls. If a ball rips, I bring it upstairs to the ball makers, and you know, they'll change the ball. You know, they'll tear off the cover, and they'll get it ready for in a couple days. You know, keep track of the times, practice times. When they go out in between games, they go out and warm up. I have to watch the clock and keep track of their practice times.
Fans sometimes heckle players, but once in a while, the ball boy will catch some heat.
I had one incident that happened to me back in 1988. It was on a Friday night. I was called to bring the balls out in the court. It was Mike and Garrett. They had a possible game point. And so I handed Mike the fastball because he wanted it, and he ended up over-serving, and they lost the game. So meanwhile, some guy jumped out of the audience and started saying all kinds of stuff to me. He's saying, you know, it's the ball boy's fault, you know, you gave him the wrong ball or something like that. He just kept yelling at me. I could see him out of the corner of my eye. He was really mad. It happened a few times, you know. People, you know, sometimes just want to blame somebody, I guess, but I don't know, I was just doing my job.
the players throw the ball in a straight line?
Almost never. A highlight ball, as you know, moves very fast, and the ball comes with a lot of curve, a lot of spin on the ball at all times. And the spin on the ball is usually generated through the motion, through the player's follow-through, the way he throws the ball. If a player were to take the ball with the forehand and throw over the top, the motion of the ball tends to hit the front wall and come straight down. But if a player were to take the ball with the reverse, with the backhand, and throw the ball to the front wall, because of the motion he's creating, the ball hits the front wall and rises. And the ball has a tremendous amount of spin, and that's what generates the carry to the backcourt with the backhand. A player who throws the ball with the sidearm a lot will tend to put the ball into the side wall, because the ball will hit the front wall, and then it'll spin. Because of the spin the ball has on it, the way the ball rotates, it'll cut into the left wall. It'll go from right to left. Now, this is the difference between a good player and a bad player. A good player will know exactly where the ball is going to go by watching the motion of the player throwing the ball. And an inexperienced or an early game player won't really be able to figure it out. And it'll take him a little bit longer to move to the ball, because he'll have to actually see the ball come off the wall and go there, where one of the better players or the later game players will just know where the ball is going to go from the motion of the player who's throwing it.
Fans know the importance of a good backcourtman, because they're the ones that keep the ball in play. And a consistent, reliable backcourtman can ease a lot of the fans' anxieties when the ball is sent deep. Beat Luis Eizaguirre, or as he is better known, Alfonso. He's a 31-year-old native of Morelia, Spain, and he's been playing professional highlights since he was 14.
I started when I was 10 years old, and I turned pro when I was 14 in Barcelona, Spain. After that, when I moved, my first move was to Las Vegas, Nevada, and after I moved to Rhode Island, West Palm Beach. I played there 3 years, and then I moved to Denia and Milford.
The 6'3", 190-pound backcourtman came to Milford in 1980, and in 1988, he enjoyed the best season of his career, winning 127 games, second in overall wins to Bolivar.
I think it was the best season I ever had. I always try hard, and that season I played with good partners, and I was lucky to finish a lot of the games.
Alfonso, the last 3 seasons, I believe he's playing his best since he started playing highlight. And right now, he is a backcourt player that I believe every frontcourt player wants to play with him. And one of the reasons is that he can take very easily his opponent frontcourt man out of position and let his partner take the easy balls or in good position to make a remate. He is a very good catcher, and he is very steady. And like I told you before, in the last 3 seasons, I believe he is the player that he kept all the seasons from the beginning to the end at the same level.
Alfonso met his wife Paula, who's a bartender at the Fronton, 8 years ago, and they married last year.
I met Alfonso one night because I locked my keys in the car, and he helped me. He gave me a ride home, and actually we broke into my house together, and we've been together ever since. And I think he's a very good player. Of course, I'm partial, but I think he's a good player. I think he's a very good player. He's strong. I think he's very dedicated, very conscientious, and he tries hard.
Yes, she gave me confidence because she's still working like 8 years here, and she knows about it. She knows when he's getting good game, and she helped me a lot. She gives you a lot moral for next day. When I am trying playing bad too, she helped me a lot.
I think he keeps what's here and doesn't really bring it home. Not to mention that I really don't understand. Sometimes I'll say to him, why didn't you back up, or why didn't you jump? And he says, it looks different from where you are. It looks a lot different to the people.
Alfonso has 66 victories and is 8th in overall wins at the Fronton. And now it's time for the game of the week. In this highly anticipated contest, the Fronton's hottest players are randomly paired together. The post positions are also randomly selected. In the Sports Channel Game of the Week standings, the players are awarded points on the basis of their performance to determine the top players in this featured game at the end of the year. In the backcourt, the top point getter is Roland with 15. Alfonso and Angoneghi each have 11. The backcourt standings should change dramatically because none of the top 3 players is in this week's game. In the front court, Sortizabal leads with 12, Roger has 11, Bolivar, Bucci, and Inclán each have 9 points. Here are this week's closing odds. The crowd of 4,000 fans sent Bolivar and Augie off as the 8-5 favorites. Mark and Dart in post 2, and Drew and Sola in post 3 were sent off at 5-1. There is spectacular scoring in this featured 12 game. In this round-robin format, the points are worth 1. When everyone has had a turn, the points then double. The team to score 7 points first wins. The game starts off with Mike and Gray in post 1, taking on Mark and Art in post 2. Here Art fires to Mike in the front court, but he can't hold on. The 2 takes the first point. Post 2 beats post 3, Drew and Sola, and then takes on the 4, Greg and Adam. Mark is looking for his second straight win in the game of the week. Art is 0 for 3 in this featured contest. Here Greg can't handle this rebote, score another one for the 2. Next up is the team of Sortizabal and Jay in post 5. Mark big bounces one over Jay. The 2 has 4 in a row. Next, the 2 takes on post 6, David and Cruz. Here Cruz makes a fine catch heading towards the wood, fires the long big bounce carom. Mark goes high on the screen but can't pull it in. Score the point for post 6. Next up is the dangerous team, the favorites, Bolivar and Augie in post 7. Bolivar takes the serve, goes to the inside, an easy point for post 7. The 7 plays the 8, William and Tomas. Here Tomas feeds Bolivar's forehand. He goes to the outside, score another one for the 7. The second round started with the 7 beating the 1, Mike and Gray. With 4 points, they now take on post 3, Drew, with Sola, who is substituting for Richard. Here Augie can't convert on the rebote. The points go to 3, post 7 sits down. We move to later action in the second round. Here Mark and Dart in post 2, who scored 4 points their first time up, take on the dangerous team of Sortizabal and Jay in post 5. Here Art catches on the forehand and gives to Jay in the backcourt. He throws on his left side and sends it deep. Art gives way to Mark. Mark handles the rebote. Sortizabal is there, can't make the catch. The points go to 2. Giving them 6, and now possible game point for Mark and Art in post 2. They take on the 6, David and Cruz. Mark the chance to win his second Sports Channel Game of the Week in as many weeks. Art can't handle that rebote, and the 2 sits down at game point. Post 8 eventually beat the 6 and took another double point to have 4 points when they take on Bolivar and Augie here in post 7. William tries the carom serve. It lands on the wood. Score the points for the 7, and now the favorites, Bolivar and Augie in post 7 at game point, taking on Greg and Adam in post 4. You have to like Bolivar's chances here as he takes on early game front quarter Greg. He takes this shot in, throws a crack ball that shanks just inside the line. Bolivar and Augie have sat down. Greg and Adam in post 4 take the point. Here Sola fires this long carom as post 3 comes up with 4 points. It's a winner that now gives them 6. And now possible game point for Drew and Sola in post 3. Trying to sit him down is post 5, dangerous front courtman Sortizabal with Jay in the backcourt. And remember, Richard was supposed to play in post 3, but because of illness he was scratched. Sola substitutes. Here he lofts one high and deep. Jay pulls it in deep into the backcourt. Drew lets one go. Sola is there for the catch on his forehand. He again tries to send it deep past Sortizabal. Can't do it. He sends one off the back wall. Drew backs up, takes the rebote. Drew then sends one to the outside. Sortizabal is there, fires to the inside. Drew and Sola in post 3 sit down at game point. That now gives new life to Mark and Art in post 2 as they now have game point for the second time in this game. Earlier in this contest, the 2 beat the 5, Sortizabal and Jay, to reach game point for the first time. Sortizabal starts off the point, serving. If post 2 is to take the victory, they'll need steady backward play from Art. Here he fires one deep. Sortizabal can't make the catch. Mark wins his second straight game of the week. Art has now won 1 in 4 attempts.
Oh, it feels great. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. I thank my partner for playing his heart out.
Mark did it all with his rebotes. I just let the ball come out. He did his job with the rebotes, and that's that. We got 4 straight points.
We pay absolutely no attention to Boulevard. We just knew if we played well, it was our game all the way. We had no doubt in our minds. Right?
Mark beat him with a rebote to the inside, and then Mark just told me to take it on my right side if I got the serve, and that's all I did.
And threw a very nice shot to beat a tough front court of Sortizabal. So it was a victory, a hard-earned victory, and not just for myself, but for my partner. I'm very happy.
That concludes another edition of Inside Milford Jai Alai. Jai Alai players come from everywhere. Sam Inclán is an international superstar with fans all over the world, especially in Mexico, where he's originally from.
I just want to say hi to my fans in Mexico. I love